Welcome back, and it's time to make sense of the headlines on the front pages. And Mr. Adeni Ifetayo, our public affairs analyst, joins us from our Abuja studio. Good morning and welcome, Mr. Ifetayo. All right, we hope that the audio will get better along the way and we'll be able to hear you. But we can see you already, Mr. Ifetayo, and I'm sure that you've been also waning from where you are on a lot of the talking points, particularly the most recent victory of the Super Eagles and the event that played out on the pitch. So perhaps we should start from there before we begin unpacking the papers.
Congratulations to Super Eagles. Congratulations to all Nigerians because we are cheering for them. And also, congratulations that they were able to skate through to the quarter-final. But of course, a disorganized team is an already disadvantage to the opponent. So I just hope Osimhen keep his cool in as much he's hungry for more goals, in as much he's hungry for more victory. But it's a team, and you need to play together as such. And if you notice something, you don't hammer on it until your co-player is demoralized. And if you notice, immediately after that, it was as if Osimhen was isolated or isolated himself. He does not fight for the ball again, and that might cost us in case of next time. But congratulations to them and the coach. They get the job done. Nigeria is rooting for them, at least if they can bring back the cup, because I'm rooting for them to bring back the cup to console us for not participating, or we don't know, in World Cup. As it stands, we are not going to the World Cup, but let them bring this one, let them bring it back home. And Osimhen should keep his cool. No player is bigger than the team. No player is bigger than the country, and he should just keep his cool and let them play together as a team. If you notice anything, make your complaint and let's flow.
All right, so let's begin with the Guardian newspapers, and there's a huge talking point from the lead story on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Let me quickly look at that before I talk about the other side to it, which I'll also want you to respond to. Tax reform risks sluggish, uncertain execution timelines over tardy. I believe NSW is National Single Window because of the numerous security agencies that had been involved or engaged in revenue collection. There are concerns over harmonization. But beyond that, Mr. Adeni, I wonder if you've begun to experience, concerns with what you transfer and what taxes will be deducted and what you will be tagging your transfers, especially since January 1. Maybe you also want to share your experience in that regard with us.
Of course, in as much as we're being told that you need to be very conscious about the description of each transaction and all of that, of course, I've been reading up about the new tax reform that took effect from January 1st and tax on support, loan repayment, or if you are giving out loan, logistics, etc., etc. Of course, salaries, you don't just do something now, you will do it with intentionality. So it's everybody's job to make sure that they do the needful when it comes to tagging. But I just felt that the information has not gotten to those at the grassroots level. I've been in a place, a woman was plaiting someone's hair and said, why will the government go to take our money? We wasted the manage. And I had to educate them and say, Madam, if you earn a salary, that is below 800,000, you are not going to, government, they are not going to take a dime from you. So I felt that the government still need to take the campaign, the reorientation to the grassroots level. They can do it local government by local government, in each state, in all the 774 local governments in Nigeria. So that
a sovereign country of about 30 million people, what more beyond what has already been done in Nigeria can the United States, execute? And what's the role, really, by the way, of the United Nations in all of this. And this brings to mind that very, very damning speech of the US president during the UN General Assembly last year about the United Nations. Speaks very low about the role of the United Nations in ensuring democratic stability of institutions in different countries of the world. Guys.
Indeed. So I see we have Mr. Fatayo back. Mr. Fatayo, we've gone quite a distance, but let's just backtrack a little bit for you. Front page of the Vanguard newspaper, speaking about terrorists abducting passengers on a busy Kwara highway. It's 2026, and I'd almost think that this headline or this story is from 2025.
Yes, I think it's high time we have, maybe we want to call them road marshals. Maybe they are going to use national civil defense. Maybe government can say for every 10 kilometers there is a spot there or a station there in case of any emergency, because the next 3 or 5 minutes to any emergency determines the outcome of whatever it is that is happening. And of course, they can start with some of those states that have been identified that some of these terrorists or kidnappers are having their ways once in a while. And of course, they should deploy if they need to employ, or if they need to recruit, or the words to say, they should do that. And with the local vigilante, or with the local, we are talking about state police, we don't know, we don't have that in sight now. So those are the things that the area that they can be useful. And of course, the government, they need to do more and to secure the lives of Nigeria, whether you want to travel by air or by road or by any means. We should feel safe in our community. We should feel safe in our environment. We should feel safe on the high road. And I heard you briefly talking about Trump set sight on Greenland, threatening Cuba and Colombia and Mexico. I'm just praying that the little time he had, we can just like Jesus prayed, let this cup pass over us, because the way he's going about it, he might escalate it to something else and create more enemies than making friends and all of that. And also is a learning for our nation, our leaders who also want to sit tight on the power, especially in Africa. Sometimes whatever it is you think you are doing, people are clapping for you, or sycophants are clapping for you. You will do it and it will get out of hand, and somebody might hit you from the back. So whatever it is he has planned to annex Greenland and all of that, you should respect some sovereignty of every nation. I overheard you saying, what is United Nations saying? It's better you make peace with US, because United Nations, I stand to be corrected, they are not coming to do anything. Russia will not help you. China will not help you. Depend on the way you can, get yourself a soft landing. So those are the things I can say about it. Let government secure our highway. If you need to recruit, if you need to use National Civil Defense Corps, maybe they will be in every 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, let there be a station, especially in those states that are having challenges, from North Central, from Kwara, to Sokoto, to KB, to Borno, and so that everybody can feel safe, even if they are operating in their local government or in their own community.
Well, just for mention quickly, there's also that story on the front page. Over 33% of Nigerian immigrants in U.S. live on public benefits. That's a list that Trump put out of all the nations that are present in the U.S. and just the percentage of those citizens of the nations, the immigrants from those countries that live on public benefits. Now, while this might seem like a lot, China is 32%, right? In fact, you have countries that are doing 70% and all. So it shows that for majority of Nigerians, they're not really depending on handouts as much in those countries. They're really doing the work, putting in the hard work, and contributing to the economy of those countries. So to put it in proper context, if Nigeria is doing 33%, China is doing 32%. So not that bad in some sense. Jeffrey.
But it's also a signal for those that are being captured in that 33% that, hey, look, Trump is coming for you. So just get your your act together before it becomes too late. And you know, with Trump, he can just wake up and say that you know, those that are depending on this public facility or public support or whatever it is he call it, he's going to put a stop to it, and nobody's going to hold him back. But it's just a signal for them that something is coming for them and they should get their act together.
Indeed, and I wonder if that's also an unspoken or a veiled message for Nigeria as well, especially when we look at recent happenings. But beyond that as well, we can also see some pressure applied by the security agents. For instance, the front page of this Nigeria captures this one: Army rescues 13, recovers 27 bodies in Onguru boat Misapu. Also hear about, you know, terrorist strike in Borno, where about 28 terrorists are neutralized. But we must anchor at this point. We'll definitely be looking at that in the coming days. And thank you very much, Mr. Ifetai Adeni, for coming on the newspaper review segment and bringing your insights into the discussion. Mr. Ifetai Adeni is a public affairs analyst. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here once again.
And when we return from this break, we'll touch on politics in Rivers State. Stay with us. We'll be right back.